I want you to imagine you come into work an hour before all your coworkers. One by one, your coworkers come in and they pick and choose who they want to say hello to in the morning. They walk by your desk, they go to theirs. This happens 6 more times. Different rosters with each employee. These same employees go to work, clip-clapping away on their keyboards. Some dying under the tremendous workload, cursing the day, while others stare blankly at a computer screen with earbuds stuffed in, just dreaming that something will stumble across their desk. Meanwhile, employee number 3 and 4, they're going to be hurling thinly veiled passive-aggressive comments over the cubicle wall like recently loosed arrows. Does this sound like an office that you want to work in? Does this sound like an environment that is going to build you up? It's obvious that the culture here is broken, or rather that no one's exempling a good one. So the question isn't, why don't they work together? Why don't they create a more positive environment that everybody's going to benefit from? The question is how? How does a group of people, an organization, company for that matter, how do they change the direction of the cultural tendencies? Well, it happens with gratitude, security, consideration, positivity, encouragement, consistency. Let's break that down. With gratitude, employees that are part of a negative or lackluster culture, they're all too familiar with what they're doing wrong. Because guess what? That's what they're told. They're told that they're doing things wrong day in, day out. Why don't you do it this way? You're causing so much work for me because you did it that way. Why did you do that? It's all too common. This is what builds people, this is what beats people down. So imagine what a little positivity could do. Like, hey, I know that didn't happen the way we wanted it to, but you'll figure it out. You'll get it next time. What? You're not going to tear into me for making a mistake? Right? All of a sudden, attitudes start changing. Being positive, it's not hard. But what it does is it dramatically changes the wiring in our brains. And it's clearly noticed when it happens. People are not aware of this, but they're begging for this gratitude. They want their work to feel like it's worth it, like it's worthy of something or it's valuable to someone. So when all they hear all day long is how they've done it wrong, or how it could be better, or where it was lackluster, all of a sudden the positivity starts to instill that, look, there's some value in what you're doing here. I can see you're trying. I can see that you're doing something. It's definitely not worth less. It absolutely starts to provide that value that people are looking for. It's an absolute critical step in changing the culture of any organization. Security. This is all about creating a safe place. People need to be able to feel that they can safely bring up their concerns and know that they're going to be dealt with or at least addressed. For example, Susie, I don't like when you talk to me this way. It makes me feel small, it makes me feel angry, and it makes me feel like I want to lash out. That doesn't help us work together better, and I don't want to offer my help to you in the future because of this. People don't always feel safe to make those comments, and when that stuff can't come out into the surface, how is anybody going to know how to change it or how to address it? So creating a safe place, it needs to be there needs to be a safe place for people to feel free and able to make the comments and speak their mind the way it needs to be spoken. Getting these things on the table is only going to help. It's going to make the bad culture the shortest lived experience possible. Consideration. This is a pretty simple one, but essentially it's me considering you. It's me thinking about your feelings first. Maybe not always first. Let's just start with me thinking about you. If I'm thinking about you at some point in the day, and I'm thinking generally good things in your direction, like how can I help that person? Or how do I make their day a little bit easier? Or how do I give them a smile today? However it is you want to think about it. Me thinking about you in a positive way is going to change things. As of right now, we all, in a negative culture, everybody knows exactly how everybody feels about everybody. He hates me, I hate them. They're no good to me, and I'm no use to them. Clearly, that's proven by our copious interactions in the past, right? So we all seem to know exactly how everybody feels about one another, and it's no good. So having a positive consideration for other people is only going to kindle the fire and keep it going a little bit farther. Again, this is kind of further on with positivity. Literally, there needs to be no room for negativity or bad emotions ever at all. If it's negative or attacking somebody else, there's no value to it. It only deteriorates the environment and makes things worse. So allowing positivity is the only emotion that people can feel. This is the only lens in which we communicate within the organization. And it's the only lens that is going to allow the group to thrive in a good, positive, up and to the right kind of motion. Encouragement. People need to understand what they're doing well. Like I said in multiple of the previous bullet points, there's all too much um, of the negative stuff going around, communicating exactly how we're all failing. We all, again, know how we're failing based on the way that we know how everybody else is going to react. So if I do this, I know that so and so is going to understand that this way. They're not going to like it. It's not going to work well. They're going to say this thing. I can see the rabbit trail go all the way down to the end. But with encouragement, you disrupt the process. This is where you change things up. So throwing in there that you'll get it next time. Not a big deal. Um, it lessens the failure. It lightens the mood, and it gives the individual the ability to know that, look, you're on my side too. You're rooting for me. We're going together, and it's wildly inspiring. Wildly inspiring. I know that for me, words of affirmation and encouragement is a huge way to fill my gas tank. You give me a couple positive words, and I'm ready to go for miles. So absolutely, encouragement needs to be present with every interaction. Finally, consistency. This is all great. You can apply all this stuff all tomorrow, and guess what? It's gonna fail because you're probably not gonna get met with all these behaviors. For example, you're going to be the only one giving gratitude, the only one providing that safe space, the only one considering others, the only one being positive, and the only other one encouraging people. And that's going to be weird when you're the only one doing it. So consistency needs to happen. And so by being the only one doing those things, what's going to happen is you're going to get discouraged. And so now you're going to stop, and then it's for sure not going to take. So what needs to happen is kind of a twofold thing. So first off, it needs to be every day. It needs to be consistent. It needs to be the way you see the world. It needs to be the way you operate. It needs to be just as inseparable as your character itself. Second of all, this needs to start at the top of the hierarchy. The higher it starts, the more it's going to be respected. So starting with the CEO. CEO needs to embody these things, then the VPs need to follow in line, and then the mid-level managers, and then it's all the way down the chain to the front lines. Doing these things by any one individual just makes that one individual look good, but to change a culture, it needs to be the hierarchy and the management structure. So how do we change these things? We start with a little gratitude. We make a little room so that people have the space to make safe comments to better the environment. We start thinking about others with consideration. We start being positive. We eliminate the negative talk tracks. We eliminate the things that are going to tear us down. We start lifting others up through encouragement. The final thing, we continue to do it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. Not everybody's going to love it, but we continue because that's what's going to change the culture. Thank you.